Guys, welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We're live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studios. That's right, Wolfpack Gold, Silver, and Bitcoin. Just go to samtripoli.gold, use the promo code TINFOIL, and you too can get in on the precious metals game for as little as $50 a month. Very excited about today. We've been talking about this guy a lot on all my podcasts. I think he's very important, and I believe we, Los Angeles, have a real opportunity to infect change, to inject like common sense into this Southern California. And I'm so excited that he's here. Please welcome what I believe will be the future mayor of Los Angeles, Spencer Pratt. How are you?
Got chills. I felt that. It felt like one of those those clips from the future. I'm very grateful to be here talking to your platform. Shout out to all your listeners because they DM. I got a lot of DMs. You got to go ahead and tip out. I was like, okay, this is when there's like a wave of things. I'm like, okay, I'm in.
That's the hat we gave you. It's Swarm. They're called the Swarm. Because they show up in bunches, dude.
It works because I'm trying to engage with it. You got to chat. You did your job. I'm here. Success, Swarm. So it worked. The Swarm hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm here to just get people to wake up and make sure they tell 20 friends, because I'm all new to this whole politics thing in the sense that you get your ballot May 4th. You need to send it in the second you get it. Don't wait till June 2nd. And that is how we win LA back and save it from this takeover. It's destroying Los Angeles and California by voting. And you got to tell friends, you got to start, because I can't reach all the people we need to reach. We got to get the people that have given up. They're done with, they think, oh, it's cooked. The whole game's rigged. Voting's rigged. It's not. It's just everybody who thinks like a normal person is like, what's the point? Where we can't do that anymore. And I get it because there's usually not a Spencer Pratt running. So yeah, you're kind of right. Like, what is the point? But now is the time where we can take these people out of power and unplug these mechanisms that have just been stealing our taxpayer money, destroying our quality of life and our affordability. The list, and what they do is they just keep doubling down everything. They don't even acknowledge we're the worst people ever. but this time we're going to be better. They just go, it's business as usual. So
it's like romancing somebody. Say whatever you have to do to get it done, and then once you're in, just totally go back on all your promises.
I don't even feel like they romance us. I feel like it's like assault. I don't even. Totally. When they literally smile and lie just straight to your face. So, the old days they would even pretend.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of want to get into with you. How long have you been in Los Angeles?
My whole life.
So you grew up here. So So you've seen some glorious days, man, of like LA used to be the pretty blonde and everyone hated her because she was so amazing, right? And it just seems like it's changed. It's lost some of its funk. And some of us, I'm an old head, dude. I got here in like 98. And man, it was wonderful. There was a lot of outlaw here. There's a lot of people pushing culture. And it was like, it was just a blessing to be here. It was like we were kings and we didn't even realize it. And it just seems different now. And I think a lot of it has to do, obviously, COVID did a lot of damage, but also like, I just feel like the people who push culture and are the great artists aren't here as much as they used to. A lot of them went to Texas, a lot of them went to Florida. But do you feel like there's a change, that it's not the LA you grew up in?
The only reason I ever wanted to be famous, whatever that meant, was because that unlocked the next tier of the LA dream. I grew up watching what movie stars got to do, going to the movie premieres, and now they don't have any of this. So I went to high school with Jonah Hill, and I recently saw him. He's as rich and as successful as you could be as a movie star. And I bumped into him somewhere. I'm like, oh, where are you living? He goes, oh, I had to move all the way to San Diego. And I said, what? Here is a movie star having to commute to have his own set at Warner Brothers and he doesn't want to live in LA. Like growing up, he's the goal. You get to that famous, hang out with Brad Pitt.
We all dream.
You're nominated for Oscars, and he doesn't want to live in LA. That was like, oh my God, it's over. If a movie star doesn't want to live here.
No, I'm with you, dude.
No, it's not like it feels different. It's gone. And what I keep trying to tell people is it's red alert, because 4 more years of this same strategies, these same plans, it's so not coming back. It's already, getting Hollywood back is going to be a mission. But the way I feel like you can do it is you get the 40,000 people that get to live on the streets and smoke fentanyl. You get them off the streets. You get all the human shit off the street.
Yeah.
You don't have the streets smell like piss.
Yeah.
And then maybe Hollywood, in the sense of the business, wants to start filming here. The show I was on, that I was famous on, The Hills, the entire show was just how beautiful Hollywood looked.
Yes.
On tripods with good music.
Yes.
You couldn't film that show right now.
I agree.
It would be impossible. It would cost too much to clean the streets, remove the encampments. The only thing you can film on the streets of LA right now is the reboot of Escape from LA with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
And even now it looks worse.
Yeah.
Like you go watch that movie and that actually looks kind of chill. Like,
I would live in that neighborhood.
Which is that Echo Park? What is that? Is that Silver Lake?
Someone's Zillow that, dude.
We were talking about Saddle Ranch. How Saddle Ranch was a thing because people would get on the bull. We just went back because he did the comedy. It's empty. Like you said, you couldn't do that show anymore the way you could. It was a restaurant that was full of people and they just had cameras walking around.
Listen, I moved out here when I was 25 years old. Sunset was absolutely insanity. It was the Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal years, and it was bumping. I don't know where that is anymore. I asked the young comics at the comedy show, where do the young people go to hit the bar scene? And they're like, there's one over here. It's like Hollywood gone, Sunset gone. Where is everything?
I just did this conversation with this guy, Seth, in the city, and he covers restaurants that are closing. 100 restaurants have closed in the last year in LA, and that's what he's keeping track of, that he knows of. So not just Hollywood, not the nightlife, the restaurants. And we're talking about community places, not necessarily, the franchise type restaurants. When I was in the game back in the day, 7 nights a week there was nightlife. And you had to pick which spot you're going to first each night, because that's how much.
Yes.
So when people, I see TikToks with respect to transplants, they'll be like, who said LA's not popping? I'm like, you guys are Martians. You're in the Twilight Zone. I'm telling you, that's why I have the energy to fight. So I can say, if it's fully done for, I don't get elected, I can look back to my new state I'm going to live in, Bentonville, Arkansas, and say, son, there was this place, and I'll tell the story. But I fought till the bitter end until I couldn't anymore. Because once they burned my house down, I used to be able to keep my shield on. I was in my bubble, feeding my hummingbirds, holding all my magical crystals, and, I could play pretend, everything, knowing how horrible, but I didn't leave my bubble. Let's be clear. I knew pretend as in I could hide in it.
Yes.
Once you burn that away from me, now I'm like, game on now. You want war? You had me as a person. You had me on timeout. I was safe.
Yeah.
You burned my house. You burned my parents' house. You burned my neighbors alive. Now it's war.
You're like John Wick with his dog. Once you mess with his dog,
people keep saying he did that for his dog.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a John Wick reboot.
Yeah,
we're way past. And also I'm fighting for dogs, because now that I'm in this fight, I have all the dog rescue people reaching out to me. They're texting me every day different videos of dogs getting mutilated on the sides of the street, right in public in LA. The amount of dogs Karen Bassett just killing records amounts in the shelter all day long when they know
that's what you need to run on right there. You want to get hey, dude, they're killing dogs. People go nuts, dude.
They're not just killing dogs. They're allowing homeless drug addicts to torture dogs, light them on fire, cut their eyeballs out, glue their mouth.
Oh my God.
Think about that.
Everything you can think of. And then they protect these homeless drug addicts you can't take the dogs from. So these rescuers are having to come in, swoop the dogs, and get them to safety.
What? Really?
Because if you call the cops, they come and say like,
no, we can do.
So, What's so wild is there's NGOs that give these homeless drug addicts these cards. They say if they come, the cops come and take your dog, call this number, and then they sue the LAPD and they sue the city.
Yeah.
Not kidding. That's the level.
Dude, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I'm not kidding. So back to John Wick. Not only am I saving dogs, I'm saving humans. So when people are like, "Oh, you sure you want this job?" I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I'm gonna feel like an X-Men once I get in there.
No.
Like imagine being able to use all this power for good. And they say, what are you going to do? Well, first off, I got a list of 10 of the top rescuers that I put in charge of saving the dogs. Boom. Anyone in the city that was in charge of dogs, you're gone. So that's done. I got the experts in there. I just met with this guy, Juan, he's from Ecuador, clean LA with me. His videos all day long. He just cleans the sides of the streets in LA.
Oh, man. Can we help with that?
Oh, yeah.
I want to do that.
He has a wish list. And he's emailed Karen Bass after she like played him out and they brought him in. Like, oh, we want to work with you because he was getting so viral, like doing their job for them. He said he's emailed every day almost for 3 weeks for trash bags. No response.
Dude, she does that over and over. She did it with the flooding on Melrose. Every time it rains, Melrose floods. And they hired, the city did, these trucks that are supposed to open the manhole covers. And they made a big production. She went down there and said, we're fixing everything. The last time it rained, nobody was in the trucks. And it all just flooded again.
Yeah.
She's got
everybody
a long
sent me the
track
post.
record.
That's the thing now. I turned into like Yelp for the whole city. So anybody that's got a problem, I'm well aware of what level it is. And so what Juan was telling me is they just increased your trash fees to, I don't know, $65, $7, whatever the increase was. And he's saying the budget to clean the trash is going to go to $1 billion. I said, Juan, what would you do? First week, I hire you. I make you the new head of sanitation. He goes, I fire everyone. I go, what do you mean? He goes, they don't care, Spencer. You need people that care. I bring in people that care. He says, we can clean the city for half of that. Easy. And this is not some rando. He's cleaning the city from sunrise to sunset 5 days a week and on weekends for fun with his mingas where he like has volunteers. So just there, I'm cleaning the streets, saving $500 million. We're saving the dogs with just bringing in the right people that, again, care. So when they say, well, you have no experience, Spencer. Well, guess what? The people that supposedly have experience,
100%.
They don't care. So what I do know, because I talk to a lot of smart people, and I tell them that's what they say to me. They go, and all the smart, successful people, they go, you know what? In this company, I had no experience. And what I do, I surround myself with the experience, and that's how I have success. And I meet with this OG head that I can't say who he is because of fear of retaliation, which is real. And he told me that Karen Bass had no experience to run for mayor of LA and be second largest city, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, what did she do? She then surrounded herself with an entire crew of people with no experience. He goes, what you do is you get the best people in the world to come save the city everybody wants saved, but they can't do it because they're all bought off with the NGO scams and the money and the politics. I don't have any relationships. I don't have any big fundraisers backing me. I don't have one union. So that's the thing. When you make all these deals to get the union votes, Mayor Bass, she probably can't do a lot of the things maybe she knows she has to because she made this deal with the union and this and does that help that union? Maybe the union boss, but it doesn't help the Angelino. Maybe it kind of helps that union crew. Maybe it helps some of those guys. It usually doesn't, but it definitely doesn't help all of Angelino. So the edge I have on just going in with I'm not a puppet.
Yeah.
You know, they're all connected to Geppetto.
There seems to be something in these Democratic cities that just seems like suicidal. And it just, we've gotten away from common sense in so many different ways, and just basic human decency seems to be lost. Like, You know, it's like, hey, I had a problem with drugs. I'll admit it. Like, and my heart goes out to them. We don't know what they've been through in their life, but my heart goes out to them. But you know, when I was doing drugs, you didn't get to smoke meth on the bus stop. I remember I used to walk my kids, and this guy's just smoking meth, and he looked at me and he got so sad because he saw my kids, and he goes, "I'm sorry." And I go, "I get it, dude." And we moved on. Like they need help, but like basic things like smoking meth at a bus stop, which was never acceptable anymore. We need to get back to civility in these democratic cities, and it just doesn't seem like there's any effort to do that. It just seems to be the most extreme policies that make everything worse. And you know, it's like we got California losing all these businesses; they're just moving out. And Gavin Newsom's always like, "We have the 5th biggest economy. We got more Fortune 500 companies. They're all leaving, dude." Because you've ruined San Francisco, you've ruined Los Angeles, and it doesn't have to be like that. Just common sense, like, let's get back to civility.
I had somebody reach out to me that I grew up with, and he, Democrat, well, if you want to put a label as person, they said, "You want to win, Mayor Spencer?" And I go, "I'm winning it, but yeah, what?" He goes, "You just tell everybody that you can take your kids to the park, whichever park, because it's across all of LA, without your kids inhaling fentanyl smoke."
Yeah.
He says, that could be your whole, you'll get elected. Say there's no more secondhand fentanyl smoke at the park on the swing set.
Yeah, basic.
And then a woman came all the way to my signature signing on the side of, Studio City. And she goes, "You want to win for mayor?" I go, "Yes, what's the plan?" And she goes, "You just tell women that as mayor, we will feel safe to walk on the streets with our little dogs again. We don't feel safe being able to walk our little dogs to go to the bathroom." So it's back to, we say civility. It's so beyond that. It's basic expectations of our safety and our health as taxpayers. We pay all this money, and that whole argument with the memes, look at the weather, blah, blah, that's why we pay extra. Okay. Let's go down from the weather.
Yeah.
The weather's in the sky, and I can barely see it because we're cloud seeding so much, which they say is all good. I try, not going to bring it up.
You're on the right place.
I'm just saying, it's helping the rain or something. But, if you look up, that's the argument. It's so beautiful. Great. But we're here on Earth, and it doesn't look what we're paying for. But, I'm just pumped up because I do feel that I appeal to Democrats, I appeal to independents, I appeal to conservatives, I appeal to everyone when you hear my message. The media will cut and paste it and try to do their thing and cook me, but the more I get out here and talk, I'm just not a communist and I'm not a socialist. And LA doesn't need a communist or a socialist.
Yes.
So and Democrats got forced into becoming their party because it's trending and it's clickbaity, and the ones that do the more hardcore stuff like Mondami, they get the views. So now you get Newsom trying to do it and go all.
You're totally right.
So they do it, but the real people driving to work, trying to get a coffee that aren't hardcore this, and that's why I keep saying my message is not left, not right, forward. Because if you keep doing this,
that's great.
We're not going anywhere.
That's great.
We need some serious.
And the truth is that a lot of these progressives are leaving the state too, and they're complaining about everything. And we just got to the thing we got to do is, I don't know if you're Republican or whatever, you're down the middle. We just have to convince them, and it's like it's okay not to vote for the people that have gotten you to the point that you want to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's this thing where like people will vote the same party, even if they're getting mugged pumping $7 gas, right? Like it's impossible to get them out of that because the fear of what that they think that side represents is scarier than, having a gun in your face while you're pumping $7 gas. It's very weird to me, man. And at the end of the day, it's like, we just got to get back to common sense. That's it.
Yeah, so thank God the mayor's race is a nonpartisan race. There's no letter next to my name or Mayor Bass.
Perfect.
So you should just see Spencer Brown. No, you're not going to get jacked at the gas station anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to fight Sacramento to release some of these resources we have in this shale and we're going to stop doing the policies of the Bay Area. The San Francisco dream is Los Angeles' nightmare.
Yes.
And I, as mayor, am going to represent Los Angeles. And if I have to catch flights to San Francisco to just call them out, say enough of this, we're done. LA does not want to. We have sprawl. You can hop on your little whatever you do, bike and go to Google and do that stuff. Yeah. We got to drive around. Yeah. And no matter what all the transportation people on X are like, oh, we're going to build this train and we're going to have this. Right now, that's not happening. Yep. We need to get the gas down, and we need to drive to our jobs and our dinners, and it is what it is. So.
And it's just crazy to me because you talk about lowering the taxes. You have a certain side that just wants to tax everything, and it's like, but don't you understand? So much of that is going to fraud. Like, just the numbers are staggering. Like, Johnny, am I off in saying $250 billion? Is that the number that's coming out of California of like how much fraud they've discovered in the state over time?
It's
an insane number. We talked about it on Cash Daddies. Minnesota was much lower than I thought, but California was insanity. And it's like, you want more taxes that are just going to be stolen.
They've recouped $6 billion in fraud. So.
I know that's what they're just giving. That's what's set in the price.
Right,
Here's this $6 we're going to throw you. No, that's what. And then when people are saying to me, "Oh, well, what are you going to do different?" Oh, how about, like I keep saying, because I've now met with them 5+ times, the whole team of the criminal investigations crew at the IRS, they know all this fraud's going down in Los Angeles with the homeless industrial complex, but they can't open cases without one document for each thing. Who's got the documents?
The mayor.
Oh, who's handing them over first week? The mayor of Pratt,
bro.
And it's unplugged. People will be so scared to run these scams in LA with me, with knowing that I'm going to give the IRS, you guys want your own room down the hall for you to check all these? People are going to catch so many cases, they're going to leave. They're going to go do the homeless thing in Seattle or somewhere else because LA, I keep saying, as mayor, no more profiting off of homelessness, no more profiting on drug addicts, no more profiting on mental crisis. If you want to have a charity NGO, this bottom line is you're just doing that for charity. Near 100%, it's going back into the solutions, not into people's salaries and parties and events and God knows what, cars. And
you're totally right. You're totally right.
It's a business.
100. Do you know that other states ship their homeless,
of course,
to California, and California wants them because that's just more money to ask for this scandal?
Some of these beds we're going to house a homeless person with a bed is $700,000 a person.
What?
Just this week, Google it. This week, they just announced California, LA, we're doing this new opening a mental health treatment center, $100 million grant. Guess how many beds it says in the article?
How many?
100 beds.
What?
Technically, it says 100 plus. Like they threw it, so it's like 106 beds. But it's like, what? These are the fanciest resorts in the world. There's not $1 million bed. I know that's like, that bed comes with this doctor and that. It's like, get out of here.
Get out of here, man.
And back to what you're saying about the smoking meth. Correct. These people have problems. I understand. I've lived in LA. I'm well aware of drug addiction. You know how you don't get people off of drugs? By handing them free needles and pipes. People come at me and they're like, that's how you get AIDS. And I'm like, well, they won't get that because I'm going to be handing them handcuffs and they can get the free needle of methadone or whatever they need to get off the drug in a secure facility where we're going to provide actual treatment where you come off the drug and they're going to be on an IV or whatever with medical professionals. We're not going to, let's give them a free needle so they don't get AIDS, but they'll OD 3 times and we'll spend 90% of the LAFD budget to come have our guys give them Narcan. Is it Narcan or Narcan?
Narcan.
I don't want to know how to say it. That's the point. It shouldn't even be in my vocabulary. So 40 calls an hour the LAPD responds to are to homeless crackheads, drug. The language, you got to be like, No. Go drive around. These aren't, yes, there's sad stories with homelessness. There's also monsters on drugs, punching kids in heads on the side of the street, stabbing people, so you can't just worry about your term. Oh, it's unhoused. There's also monsters in this.
100%.
So we are going to, as mayor of LA, we're going to enforce the law. If you're doing drugs on the side of the street, you're going to go. Some people are going to go to jail. If Spencer Pratt goes and smokes fentanyl right now in front of the LAPD right now in Ventura Boulevard, I'm going to jail because I'm getting out of a car. They're like, if they can make money off you, you're going to jail. The only reason they don't put these other people in jail, how are we going to, who's going to pay for all this?
They're not paying tickets
that's
and
why,
fines.
So right now in the fire.
Wow, I never thought of that.
Oh, it's all money.
Yeah, I never thought of that part of it.
The whole deal.
Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about our good friends at Wolfpack Gold, Silver, and Bitcoin, okay? We've been telling you about getting in the precious metals game. You got to do it now, and there's no better place to go than Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. Let me tell you about Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. If you're paying attention, you know that de-dollarization is real. Fiat is fake, and you don't want to be left holding the bag when the dollar collapses. Gold and silver has been money through all of recorded history and are an excellent way to protect yourself from inflation and geopolitical turmoil. That's why I trust my friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver for all things precious metal. Veteran-owned and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. No transaction is too big or too small, and you can even roll over your 401k or IRA into physical gold and silver. And if you think you can't afford precious metals, think again. With the Wolfpack monthly membership program, you can get gold and silver delivered directly to your door for as little as $50 a month. Wise Wolf Gold and Silver also deals in and accepts Bitcoin. So go to samtripoli.gold, promo code tinfoil at checkout to receive free constitutional silver. And remember, in the world of bulls and bears, be the wolf.
So again, I understand drug addiction is an issue, but we need to actually make it where the person gets off the drugs before we don't just get them off drugs and throw them. We need to have plans in place where, for instance, I was talking with Juan, who's going to be running clean trash. Right after you come out of my treatment thing, you can get a nice job with Juan.
Bang.
We got $500 million for sure in funding, and we put people that were on the streets now healthy, sober, and
give them
a job, a hope with Juan. He has great energy to help clean the streets. Something simple, whatever it is, but it's not just we're taking people off the street, housing them while they're on drugs. In this, and then go back on the streets. It's just
it makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
And it's also they've gotten rid of any resistance to getting drugs, meaning like when I was doing drugs back in the day, I would have to find somebody, buy the drugs, find somewhere to do drugs so cops didn't see me do drugs, and then hope and pray, right? And I'm not proud of those days. It's just my history, right? That's gone. Like the city's giving you drugs. You can do it on the map. You're not going to go to jail. There needs to be resistance, and there needs to be consequences, because that keeps a lot of normies away from doing it. The thought of being arrested, the thought of going to jail. If that's not there anymore, they're like, yeah, why not? I try it. I'll try. And then boom, they're gone.
You ever been to Skid Row during the day?
Well, Skid Row's now Los Angeles.
Pretty much.
Like it's.
Dude, it's in Hancock Park. They have prostitutes every night in Hancock Park.
Child. Skid Row, this child trafficking publicly.
It's
we're
so
living
bad.
in, and that's why people can even say, "Oh, why are people going to vote?" Do you have eyeballs? You have eyeballs? I'm the only one saying this is a nightmare, disaster, These people. Oh, Karen Bass was just on her news press conference last night, and she's like, "We have the record least mortality rate. It's 10% down." She's bragging about 10% less people dying that shouldn't even be on the streets. Dying, period. She went into office, or her campaign.
I'd like to see those police records on what they labeled all these deaths as.
This is all cooked.
Yeah, it's all booking.
Anything they're saying out loud books. Is pure lies.
Yeah.
Like I have relationships in the sheriff's department, LAPD. They tell me just the major incidents that don't even get to your local news weekly that it's mind-boggling. But she'll brag about, oh, I've removed 1,500 people from the streets, which that's not even, I don't even agree with, no, you didn't. But she doesn't say 1,300 are dead. They're in the grave.
From the streets.
And she went into the office as mayor saying she was going to remove 15,000 people from the street. That has been since taken off of any of her websites. You can go on the Wayback Time Machine, find where she says that. So she'll brag about 1,500 when her goal was 15,000, and there's 40,000 plus, and that's the made up. Everyone just drives around like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Self-counting thing. It's like, let's do a counting day.
Yeah.
And then when she says she's removing encampments, we've removed. Ask anyone in those neighborhoods. They remove it down the block. They clean this part, and it's 2 blocks down is now the encampment. Mm-hmm. So again, as mayor, no more encampments. No one is legally sleeping on the streets in LA when I'm mayor. This period.
No,
how are you going to do it, Spencer? Enforce the law. And what that entails, that's the law. It's illegal to go to the bathroom on the sidewalk, poop and pee, smoke fentanyl, do all this, torture dog. Everything that's happening is illegal.
Yeah.
So when you say, how are you going to stop it? The same thing that if I do anything illegal, that those consequences are coming at me fast.
You brought up a great point. They don't throw the homeless in jail because they can't find them.
Yeah.
There's no money in it. That's a brilliant point.
Yeah, they are bonding out, right?
Yeah, I've never even thought about that. So let's get into the origins of this journey, which is the LA fires. They were traumatic. It was insanity. I remember flying back from a gig, driving from LAX to the Valley. I was on the 405. I look over. I thought I saw Mordor. That's how much fire and darkness and chaos was over there. I tried to take a picture for my buddies because I'd never seen anything like it. So why don't you start from the beginning? This fire breaks out, and what happened to you? What happened to your family and your house? And when did you decide that I got to do something? Because you were famous before, but I feel like you blew up off of this whole fighting City Hall on what happened with the fires.
So January 7th at 10:20 in the morning, I just been up for like 4 nights. My son had pneumonia. Oh. And what's interesting, this is one of those type of weird spiritual God type moments that will echo in my brain forever. I was up in the middle of the night, just checking in 105, checking 7, and I look out and the wind was so crazy that I thought, oh my God, if a fire started right now, everyone would be dead. And to this day, it trips me out that, I've lived in that house for like 9 years. I've seen lots of Santa Ana winds, and I never had that moment where I was like, oh my God, everyone would just die if it kicked off right now. So now it's 10:20 in the morning. The winds have chilled out, no matter what Newsom and Karen Bass and the ops will say, there was no hurricane winds in the Pacific Palisades on January 7th. Late at night in Eaton, which is so far from the Palisades, there were hurricane winds. They merged those together to have a reason to say, nothing we could do, blah, blah, blah. So yes, there was wind. It never got past 40 miles per hour. But for the first 6 hours of the origin of the Palisades fire, I think it peaked at 27 miles per hour or something, whatever. So I'm drinking my espresso, dancing to Look What You Made Me Do with Taylor Swift, doing my little bit on Snapchat, my ritual. And I see the nanny that we just finally got because she'd been out of town. And I got a break for a second. And I was like, here's the 2-year-old, like, get away from me. And so
I know that feeling.
She runs up our hill behind the house, and I see her running down the street with like the baby and then the stroller. And she runs in. She's like, the workmen up the hill said there's a fire. We should get out of here. And again, from LA, my whole life's been Palisades. I'm well aware of fires. My best friends just fought their fire 3 weeks before in Malibu. So I'm not panicking. I'm like, oh, let me go check this out. So I hike up. Sorry, the 40 pounds of Armenian food.
Dude,
buffet
that will
just
do
hit.
it.
I'm like, whoa,
that will do it, dude.
So,
that will do it.
shout out Esso. And so I go up there and I check it out, and I Snapchat just like smoke coming from Topanga State Park, because my house connects to, the back is Topanga State Park, and I see it. I'm Snapchatting like, oh shit, like dang. But I'm still very confident it's 2026. I pay all this money. I'm broke because I pay all this money in taxes. Like, when does the Armada arrive to, and I live next door to the Palisades Reservoir, which has 6 million gallons of water. The fire department's always doing drills on my street. It's so annoying because I got to move my car, can't get out. But I'm like, thank God this is where they train.
Right.
So I'm waiting for them to show up. And the flames just keep coming. So I call Heidi. I'm like, you should go evacuate, get a little overnight bag, go to my parents' house, which is 2 miles on the other side of the Palisades, closest to the beach. We're on the hill, they're on the bluffs overlooking where Baywatch used to film. And so she does that. And then my older sister calls and she's like, why is Heidi and the kids at mom's house? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, the fires jumped from Temescal, so it's now coming sideways. So I'm like, oh my God. So I start thinking I got to grab some stuff, but I'm still so confident. The idea in my brain is the fire department drops the retardant, the water on the hill. I've seen this done. I just watched it happen a few years earlier on the Getty fire that I was looking at from across the hill. So I'm still not packing for my life. Grab some Heidi merch shirts, some pairs of shorts, like 12 crystal necklaces, and, thinking, well, I'll be back soon. That, this just, I'm going to check, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I should have stayed because everyone I know saved the house, whether you're a 90-year-old man.
Oh, really?
If you were anyone who stayed, pretty much that I talked to saved multiple houses. So the lesson is, if you're an able-bodied adult, have plans, and that's a longer story. But so it's now 5 o'clock. My dad shows up. He's got the garden hose. We're hosing. Finally, the flames are like, okay, this isn't the water's not really coming out at the level of a garden hose. Again, if I say you have a plan, get your own real hoses. If you have a pool, anyone that has a pool needs the generator for the pool pumps. And if you do want to leave, have the generator with the pool pumps connected to the industrial sprinklers. So there's plans now that I'm well aware that we can do better than we did. So I leave. I watch my house burn down on my security cameras, just as out of a horror movie. But I can't reach my dad, who went to his house to try to save his house. So I'm now fearing for my dad dying. So I'm mentally not emotionally connected to the cameras burning the house, which is actually a positive because I'm not thinking about that. But the negative, I think my dad's dead. So I call 911. Well, first I call the fire department, direct line down Station 69, say, hey, what time are you guys coming up to where the state park connects to this whole community and there's just one area of dead brush that you guys don't maintain. You need some water on it. Oh, no, nobody's coming. No assets are available. I was like, oh, game over for that. Okay. So then I called 911 because my dad needs help. He could have passed out, fainted, smoke inhalation, God knows. Oh, no emergency personnel are going to that area. I'm like, that area is like 14 ways to get to, I understand maybe my hill, there's one way in, there's a power line down, you can play. But where my parents' house is as suburban, it looks like you could get in a million ways. I'm like, no emergency personnel to go see if my 75-year-old dad is falling, can't get up. Like, he's hitting the button,
I'm falling, I can't get up.
You can't make this up. And I'm like, oh my God. So finally, he got out. His house burns down. And
they're just telling you there's no one available.
No one's available, no assets. Done, click. I've been trying to get that police call from public records request for 14 months. They say they don't have the records. They do. I want to post that audio for people to hear, and it should haunt them. Because this idea that we have in government, that Big Brother, we can just let them save our lives. When it cracks off, they will let you burn alive. They will let your house burn. Yeah. They will not. People need to wake up as Americans, like it used to be OG America, and we need to have some responsibility for ourselves. And that's the takeaway. But after all is going on, I'm in shock, trauma, lost everything. We had California Fair Plan because we got dropped by farmers, and anybody that knows about insurance, it's fair plan is the worst thing on the planet. So I know we're done. We put all our money, everything we've ever bought since we got married was into this house. No matter what it was, this was our inheritance for our 2 sons. And the odds that my wife's album from 2010, the 15-year anniversary of it was January 10th. So the house burns down January 7th. I was already like working on some remixes to try to promote the 15-year anniversary. So I'm getting emails in my thing. I'm like, oh my God, Heidi, your albums. So then I go on TikTok. I'm like, anybody stream Heidi's music? We need this money, like da-da-da. And it goes #1 in like 12 countries. She's the first album from 2000, from 15 years earlier, whatever the stat is, to chart in the top billboards, #1, Billboard Dance, just crazy stats. So that was like, yes, Heidi, this false sense of, I think I'm oldish, and I'm thinking music makes you rich from back in. So I'm like, we're gonna buy a new house. We're buying a new house for my parents. My mom's crying. I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna buy you a better house. Heidi's #1 on iTunes in 12 countries, whatever. Heidi's just like trying to get the kids in new schools. Not even in my, I'm not sleeping. I'm just drinking margaritas, living at the Mexican restaurant, just like, come on, we got to beat Bad Bunny, just in like in a trance. So when I finally come out of it and we make 150 grand, which is a miracle.
Still nice.
I'll never not be thankful for it. But that was when I was like, why did my house burn down? And then now I'm like, I'm suing everybody. So the weirdest part about life is my childhood best friend, his dad was the GOAT attorney. Growing up, I went to Europe on their, like movie scene, James Bond level attorney. Like we're in Turkey and all these crazy countries. He's meeting with whoever these people are. I'm like, whoa, this is some movie scene.
Yeah, dude.
Who knows, who these people are. International level GOAT attorney. And like a week before, randomly, my like next door neighbor from 2 houses down, his daughter is marrying my best friend. I'm at the wedding, and I joked to him because he tells me he just represented 400 houses against Edison for the Woolsey fire, and he's telling me about it's just him. He's like, who's the dude from Landman? Before he's Landman, he's the lawyer.
Trying you watch Landman?
No,
Billy Bob Thornton?
what was Billy Bob Thornton when he's the lawyer? Goliath. So he's a real Goliath. Course, yeah. So I'm talking to Goliath. I'm like, Heidi, how dope would it be to have Mr. McNulty be your attorney? Yeah. Cut to 3 weeks later, I'm calling him, McNulty, who we suing? So now I got the GOAT attorney. We're suing LADWP. We're suing City of LA. We're suing Newsom in the state park. And that's what, once I get connected with all the lawyers, I start learning everything about what went wrong, all the emails that, LADW, all the lies, all the mismanagement. And now I'm like on my full Chinatown, Jack Nicholson. I'm taking down the system energy. And so I've been doing that for, feels like now 14 months. But in that process, I fly to Washington and I meet with the head of the DOJ because I want them to investigate the fire aid scam, the $100 million that they stole.
That is the craziest shit ever. I mean, the level of psychopath to steal that money is the biggest fuck you I've ever seen in my life. It's mind blowing. And these are, a lot of these people are rich progressives who, supported Karen Bass, are the backbone of Gavin Newsom. And whenever he runs for anything, they run with money. They run with, they're doing ballots. They're getting people to sign this and sign that. They're basically his machine. And for them to betray that area is so insane to me.
Well, here's what I've learned. That area, here's what people keep thinking. And I try to keep telling people, the Palisades was not all rich, famous people. The Palisades had generational wealth. When I say that, I mean the old person that was grandpa. They're passing down the single family home inheritance that some of them had the grandpa still in there, grandma. That is a huge chunk of the Palisades. The Palisades became a lot of rich and famous people in the last 6-8 years. When Crusoe built the village, property taxes are skyrocketing. But all these people that are supposedly rich Palisades, their only wealth was in the house that just because of property. They can't leave that house because this is their world. They're old. So the fire aid scammer people, they're not connected to the Palisades. The rich Palisades people, their houses didn't even burn down because they stopped the fire. Chief Garcia from the U.S. Forest Service, who never shut down his air squadron, whatever they're called, unlike Newsom's Cal Fire that went down. So the U.S. Forest Service actually saved all of Brentwood and the really wealthy part of the Palisades out of Malfi. So the true people that you think, they don't care about those people because they're still there. That piece is there. So that's a missing piece. So I go to D.C. to meet with the DOJ because I'm like, you better open cases. I meet with the IRS. Then I meet with Senator Rick Scott and Senator Johnson because I'm like, we need to open a congressional investigation. Because when you see the movies, the only way you see it in a movie where you go to Washington and everyone's yelling at people, the way I'm seeing it in my head, I'm like, Karen Bass needs to be in Washington. They need to be yelling at her. And so that's going. That's in effect now. So that's a real thing that the truth will set everyone free. And I still now, for what I've helped discover, is that Karen Bass obstructed justice by altering the after action report. So I may end up being the mayor because she's going to go to jail. I keep telling people, all of a sudden they show up with the handcuffs like they did with the school LAUSD guy last week. Nobody knew. And then boom, they raid his house. I'm still waiting. I think it could happen because the evidence is there. They're not sending over those documents to the congressional investigation, but that doesn't matter if the DOJ subpoenas those documents. So, okay, back to the fight. What I keep learning is no matter what I expose, I find out, whistleblowers come to me and tell me, I post this information, the corruption, the fraud, the negligence, business as usual, lies, cover-ups. And then finally I said, okay, the only way to stop these people is to take their power. And that's why I was forced into becoming a politician. I don't want to do this. If I could have just got her in jail where she belongs, I wouldn't even be sitting on this podcast probably. I would just be chilling.
Did someone approach you or was this your idea?
Oh, it's all me. I wish somebody with a lot of money and I had like a Wizard of Oz and don't worry, my public fundraising comes out publicly in a couple of weeks. You'll see no one has approached me. You know what I mean? Like,
no, we're going to get the word out,
That's how you see the game. She has 3 million plus already just for the June 2nd date. I may be at 150. And I don't mean 150 million, which I should have.
You should have it. Like, everybody in this town should give you $1.
$5. I say throw your smoothie from Erewhon, take a day off for $21.
Yep.
Send it to me. And it's 1,400 calories. So you get a little fitter and you help save LA.
Guys, getting your business organized is one of the most important things and one of the hardest things. If your business is still running like a game of telephone going wrong, okay, scattered messages, missed calls, who's handling this? It's time to fix that. A modern comm system is like handing your business a GPS instead of a treasure map drawn by a toddler. Everyone stays aligned, nothing falls through the cracks, and at some point you just say, all right, let's fucking Quo. And that's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo. Quo, the smarter way to run your business.
Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2 with over 3,000 reviews, built for how modern teams work. That's why more than 90,000 businesses, from solo operators to growing teams, rely on Quo to stay connected, professional, and consistently reachable. Quo works wherever you are, right from an app on your phone or from your computer, unless you keep your existing number. You can add new numbers or teammates in minutes, sync your CRM, and rely on seamless routing and call flows as your business scales. Your entire team can handle calls and texts from one shared number. No more missed messages or disconnected conversations. Everyone sees the full thread, making replies faster, and customers feel genuinely cared for. Quo isn't just a phone system, though. It's a smart system. Quo has AI that automatically logs calls, generates summaries of those calls, and highlights next steps so nothing gets lost. It can even qualify leads and respond after hours, ensuring your business stays responsive even when you're finally offline. And it's easy. Calls, texts, voicemails, transcripts, and contact details all live in one clean view. With full context at your fingertips, your team communicates faster, stays aligned, and delivers a more personal experience.
Make this time where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/tinfoil. That is QUO.com/tinfoil. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. And we thank them for sponsoring this show. Hey guys, real quick, my date's going to be in Batavia. Then the following week, April 3rd, I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. Then I'm the next night, I'm in Atlanta. And then on April 16th, I'm in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Then I'm in Toronto. Then I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth, okay, then Huntington Beach. Then I'm doing my live comedy special taping for Gas Digital in Austin on the May 22nd, Albuquerque. The 1,000th episode is sold out. Lawrence, Kansas, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then finishing out with Austin. So new dates coming, guys. Thanks. Let's get back to it.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do this. They forced my hand. And again, once I do it, I want to get out. I want to just be the hero, saves LA. God forbid I have to run it back because everyone's begging me like 4 more years, Mayor Pratt. You know what I mean? I could do it, but I would hope that I make such a point in 4 years that nobody will ever allow. They can see like, oh my God, the curtains pulled back. This has been just what's been going on.
I just can't believe that everybody isn't just rushing towards you. Even no matter what political side you're on and what ideology you have, I mean, this seems like, let's just not get into homeless, which is horrible, and the corruption. I mean, this fire thing, it's so obvious what will happen that day with that crazy call. I'm going out of town for 2 days. I can't tell you why.
You know, I love that call so much, and I hope there's more to it, but it's not even that. It's more obvious than even, we don't have to pretend what the call is.
Yeah.
We know that she cut the fire department budget by $17.5 million. Chief Crowley, who she fired after she told the truth in her lawsuit filed a week ago, you can read it. She says she told Karen Bass that Angelinos, so if you're like, oh, I don't care about the Palisades, she tells Karen Bass, Angelinos will not be safe. So it happened to be the Palisades, could have been the Hollywood Hills, could have been Sunland, could have been anywhere you see a lot of dead brush around your neighborhood, which is everywhere because LAFD doesn't have the budget to clear your dead brush. The state chooses not to because they protect plants over people because they're lunatics.
Yeah, they're lunatics.
No,
they won't take down plants because they want to protect them?
Milk veg. You tell me if for $1 million cash, anyone listening, and if you do know what it is, you're one of the ops, so you shouldn't even listen. You shouldn't even listen to this podcast. But if you know what milk veg looks like or why we would protect it over humans burning alive, then this is a real thing. And so these environmental policies, I can stop it because as mayor, I can literally tell my LAFD chief, hey, you want to keep your job? You better go to every community that the state parks, dead brush, 60 years of dry, surrounded right up to your people's backyards. Go clear 300 feet now with your dozers, which would cost just the Palisades alone. I talked to the head of the dozer people to clear the full fire break, 300 feet all around the entire Palisades in the state park, $250,000, day and a half's work with dozers. So you do that, all these communities. And I'll tell the new governor, because, you know, when I'm mayor, I'm sure Gavin Newsom won't even be in the state or the country, so I won't be able to talk to him. So the next governor, I'll tell him, look, I'll see you in court because your plants that you're protecting with your policies, They're risking and
That's
endangering.
crazy.
They're endangering my Angelinos that are burning alive because of them. And let's go to Supreme Court, or I'll just keep fighting in court. We waste all our money on dumb things in court. If saving lives and all these billions of $250 billion of people's houses and businesses burned down, and we're gonna worry about these environmentalists that have taken over our lives. And again, I only need 300 feet. You can have your milk veg up the hill, but you're gonna be like, oh, erosion, it's holding the thing. We're fine. We're gonna deal with the little mudslide or where we're.
I'd rather have a mudslide than a burnt house.
Wait up, they're going extinct, guys.
But what they say, this is what I always argue, is climate change. Okay, I'm not arguing climate change. That's fine.
That's a different episode.
We understand the climate. Let's say we understand the climate's changing. So we in 2026. We're the fifth, whatever Gavin Newsom says about California, all this, we understand the climate is changing, but we're going to just accept that 7,000 homes will burn, 12 people will burn alive, or are we going to prepare for that climate changing, for those dry conditions? You know what's interesting about Newsom? He will brag, go to Munich and he'll say, look at the climate. We have fire. There's no such thing as fire. It's 365 years. Oh yeah, Newsom? Then why does your Cal Fire, his main thing that he does the pose in front of the helicopters, why do they have a seasonal schedule? Answer me that.
Yeah.
Because they go
know
off.
There's fire season.
No, because he doesn't want to, he's probably using that money to go to the first partner to go to dinner. Who knows? But the money that should go to keep the Cal Fire guys 365 a year. If you're saying in Munich, we have a full fire season, the U.S. Forest Service, Chief Garcia, the only reason Brentwood didn't burn down is because he had all his planes and helicopters not down. Because he was watching the public, I'll send you the documents. 3 months before January 7th, they have this thing that shows the weather. They track the dryness, the lack of rain. 3 months before January 7th. The entire area is bright red of how dangerous it is. So the idea that they didn't pre-deploy one asset, and Newsom will go on the press conference with everything burning. He's like, I pre-deployed Cal Fire to Santa Clarita, buddy, 2 hours away, when you have minutes to attack that ignition on a wind event. Those fire trucks should have been pre-deployed on the hills, especially now we find out your state park let a whole hillside smolder from New Year's Eve all the way leading in to January 7th. So we can talk about all things went wrong on January 7th, but how I win $100 billion plus against the state. Again, people keep going, I don't care about the Palisades. Do you realize you should care?
You should care.
Because where does that $100 billion come? From your tax money. They will be negligent and cost you $100 billion. The city of LA is probably going to end up going literally broke, going to need a loan probably from China, whoever they're, who's really running the books right now, because we're going to win the lawsuit because it's so clear all their failures and negligence. So you can say, I don't care about the policies, but they're going to affect your quality of life with their negligence. So back to Skull Rock on Lockman, New Year's Eve, 8-acre fire. They say, the LAFD today, the public spokesperson in the LA Times, she was like, there's no conversation. There's blah, 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 blah. There wouldn't even have been a fire if there wasn't an arsonist. First off, that arsonist case is probably going to fall apart, allegedly. Because there's 30 witnesses the ATF has of fireworks on that hill from testimony, people who literally saw on that thing that night. So, again.
Wow.
But they will say, oh, blah, 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 blah. So 8 acres, they don't put it out. They let it smolder. The argument, what they said until a whistleblower, we can watch it in the clip. We watch Pike, who says on the second, when they're pulling up the hoses, he saw smoldering pits everywhere. Just literal smoldering. We have drone footage from a civilian, I think from the second and the third, the whole hillside, the exact origin of the January 7th fire. He has footage of the whole hillside just smoking. And they say to for the last year, the cover up, they called it an underground fire. That's how they got away. They go on the news. We didn't know. I guess it's an underground fire, 20 foot deep in a root system. Oh, and then on January 7th, the wind was so strong. At the exact time the wind hit, it came up from the root system 20 feet below. Boop, you lying pieces of shit. You know what I mean? So what really happened is they walked away from an entire hillside in the state park, smoldering, literally smoking. And the state park reps, because in the state park manual, it's their legal responsibility to close the state park until it doesn't create a dangerous condition for the community. What do? These idiots asked the fire department to help them take dead fuel brush and cover up the fire breaks that the fire department made from the day before.
Oh,
and
God.
They literally go put the dead. We have photos of this. This is in the case. And they cover up the fire breaks. And the fire breaks are from hand crews because, ready for this? You know how you make a proper fire break after a fire? Personally, I would say that night you should have a dozer, but you're not allowed to. State park rules to have a dozer is like,
what's a dozer? I don't know.
A dozer's literally like a bulldozer with a special rake on the front. So when like Trump was like, I told Newsom to rake, everyone's making fun of him. Google dozer rake. It's the biggest thing in forest firefighting, wildfire. They rake the dead brush and they make breaks with it. So the state park does not let you use the dozers up there because of the protected plants.
Unbelievable.
So we have in the case, the fire department gets up there on New Year's Eve and they're texting and joking. We know not to bring any dozers. We know the rules. So they're doing it by hand crews, which is fine if you then don't put the brush back on. But why is it fine? Why wouldn't we bring in a dozer, do 300 foot, clear the whole area, make sure leading into a known predicted wind event that we should have this place cleaned up.
Yeah, risking everything.
Oh no, these people.
Why did they leave the fire smoldering? That's the thing I don't understand. What was their reasoning at the time?
This is where you play conspiracy.
We're all about it.
There's people who will message me all day long, and I'm not saying they're right, and I'm not saying they're wrong. They will go to the Lahaina, and they'll say, Spencer, they know this happens, and they know the outcome is a net positive land grab. So remember I told you all the property?
Bingo.
You remember I told you all the property is passed down?
Yeah.
You know what happens when property's passed down?
They tax you, don't you? Can't just give it to someone, right?
You know what the property tax from, like, say my parents' house that they bought in the 90s versus what it would be now in 2028 when it gets rebuilt? Yeah. I'm not expert in property tax, but I'll tell you.
Right.
Let's say it was 40,000. I bet it. I'm gonna guess it's 100 plus.
Yeah.
So now you have 7,000 houses that have these old property taxes. Boom. So now that number is the craziest number for that era. Now you also get to rebuild it however you want, which I've been fighting. They have, they want high density houses in these places.
They want apartment
They
complexes.
want 7-story things. They want, and they say it's affordable housing, but only 10% is required. So the developers like, it's affordable housing, 5,000 pop, 5,000. Oh, we have these 10,000. So we don't get into the YIMBY versus the NIMBY argument, and they'll say that was never going to happen in the Palisades. When I tell these people that I argue with, you don't know what billionaires that run a state can do. You don't know 10 years from now. So don't tell me that the Palisades will never have high density housing because it's not next to a certain transit thing but you don't know that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fight to make sure, and I did, and people will say, there's people that will say that they changed the SB 79 and they created fire, danger, things. So I did mine, it passed. And so technically I still believe, that's a conspiracy, but I still believe
we're fine with
that one day will continue to be a fight, because why wouldn't people
Isn't that what they're doing in Alameda? They've turned it into a high density area. It was single family homes forever. And now they're turning it into apartment complexes. So
back to this was a great call I had before I came in here. And I said, I'm all for people being able to live affordable and this, but I want to fight for what used to be the California dream, a single family affordable house. Why am I fighting to build 7-story prison-like structures to stick people in this when I should be fighting to make everything more affordable, the lumber, the permitting, the process to get people back in single family communities? Why the people that they say, well, minorities will never, why are you saying that? You're a rich person in a house. Why aren't you saying let's get minorities or people with less money to be able to have that dream to have a single family house with a yard?
Yeah, what are you saying?
So if I'm going to pick a fight, I'm going to pick housing where I want, they'll be like, this is crazy, never. That's fine. But I'll stay on the hill where I love California, where people get a little yard. And I'll fight for more people to afford that than a fight to get you in a prison, 7 density, whatever.
I mean, and the price of housing in LA, everyone's always like, it's because the weather is so nice and it's so beautiful. Okay, I'll buy that to a point. But also think about this. The higher the price of the house, the higher the taxes are. And we're paying property tax on a house that's maybe been overinflated on its price. That's more taxes for them to commit tax fraud with. I mean, it's always like more taxes, the people who cry about affordability are also the people. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about these people I know that they want higher taxes and they cry about affordability. Guess what? If taxes are down, that's more money in your bank account. You can have an affordable living if every 50 cents of every dollar you have or whatever it is in California isn't going to the government, which is just being siphoned off into their pockets or their political campaigns.
And it goes back to Sacramento and Bay Area politics and the rich. I don't know what they got. They probably got a nickname, but it's like the Bay Area Mafia. All of these people that make the decisions, these environmental policies that make it so our lumber costs more, our gas costs more, our freaking houses burn down because they're protecting plants. It's all Bay Area politicians. So back to everyone in LA should be like, hey, we're not down with this Bay Area, Silicon Valley
as they
crew.
destroy their own city too. I mean, San Francisco is annihilated.
But it's the people making decisions. They're not even in the city. They're on mega yachts. They're on G550s.
Yeah.
The people really with the money and the power that are making these plays, they're not walking around with people pooping on the sidewalk. So that's the problem. The people saying, oh, you should have high density housing. They're not in high density housing. For instance, I know this
You're so right.
I know this one YIMBY guy, major YIMBY activist. People don't know. He comes from this rich family, and I see him where my wife's family is from Crested Butte in this little town. His family's got 3 huge properties. All of a sudden, next time I see him in person, I'm going to say, why don't you put all of these workers that can't afford to live in this town anymore, why don't you put them on one of your parents' big properties that you spend your whole summers here?
Yes.
You're not in a little high-density house. You're fly fishing on your rent, so it's those
rules for thee and not for me.
Exactly. It's these champagne communists. And that's why
champagne communists. I love that.
Yeah, and so God forbid, only thing worse than Mayor Bass is the other person they put in to try to block me, who's a legit champagne communist. People don't understand. They
Who
think,
is that?
I don't even want to say her name.
Okay.
The commie lady.
The commie lady.
So the commie lady is a millionaire Hollywood husband. She is a card member of the DSA. Go look at the Democratic Socialist website.
Bang.
Go look at if you're a Democrat, you don't think like these people. This is a whole new.
Just rich kids cosplaying.
And none of the things they do work. Go look at these other countries that have these policies. Why are these people coming here?
Yeah, dude.
So the idea that anyone, but they're so good with their little lingo and the talk. I wanna fix we're not doing right, and we need to decide. Lady, you've been in city council for how many years? Why are you doing it now? Why haven't you done it? You're the head of the homeless.
It's all female city council.
You're the head of the homeless thing for the city council. And so now as mayor, what are you gonna do different?
Yeah,
Why didn't you speak more? So at a level of just scammer, performative politics, and I just pray to God people just wake up and everyone tells them you gotta vote for Spencer Pratt. We get that groundswell where they never see it coming. And then on June 2nd, I just win 51%. I don't even have to go to November, and it's just, whew. because I can do it. People keep going,
I totally believe
Well,
you
we've
can do
seen what there was that report that her internal polling said that you're her primary challenger, right?
yeah,
Karen Bass, yeah.
this is how stupid these people are. Growing up, I loved the Highlander. And when this email went out to all her people, Karen Bass said, Spencer Pratt, all of our internal polling, he's our biggest rival, he's our biggest threat, blah, blah, blah. I know they're just trying to raise money off me, but they don't get whatever money they got. If I'm the Highlander, I just chop like 50 heads. Blue electricity is just like coming down from the clouds. It's like, like, what are you thinking? Gassing me up more. Like, I am so pumped up already that I have to like calm down and like I'm in bed, just like trying to sleep. And you're gonna send that email out? Like, you stupid idiot.
That's the best campaign for you ever.
Not even a campaign, my energy. Because, it takes a lot fighting these people all day long. So that when you get that from the Spirit, like the Holy Spirit kicks you like, oh, and those are the signs. Like I keep telling God, like, just keep giving me signs that, that I'm on the right track, that I'm doing the right path. And I was kind of emotionally drained trying to get the signatures the other day on the side of the street.
Did you come to the Valley to do that?
I did.
Okay, I didn't see because I was looking
what signatures
for.
I needed 500 certified LA City voters' signatures, and I turned in 930 just to make sure they threw mine away. But I was like burnt out that day. I was like, oh, and then my phone rings, and I hadn't talked to this person in like 20 years. From the Princes of Malibu, my first show is David Foster, 20 Grammy GOAT. And he calls like three times in a row. I'm like, shit, I did something wrong. Like, he never calls me. I'm like, kind of like nervous. Like, oh, did he read my book? Like, what did he not like that I said in the book? This is the truth, But so I finally pick up, and he's like, Spencer, why? Yeah. He's like, you can do this. You have my vote. You have my wife's vote. Right on. I know your heart. You're spreading like wildfire, which I thought was ironic. I was like, and it was just like, thank you, God. Like and then I called Brody because it's his stepdad. And I was like, you don't know who just called me. He's like, I do, because I just gave him your number. He goes, this is crazy, bro. He's like, could you imagine back in the day saying that Dave Foster is going to want you to be the mayor of LA? I was like, we were on a crazy timeline.
Let's go, bro.
So that was like one of those things that like the Highlander, these moments I'm like, I was at dinner. I was at dinner the other night, and this famous director, movie star, and his wife come up to me, and I'm not going to air them out because I want people to like not feel like I'm snitching and then come around publicly maybe eventually. And if they don't, I'll snitch in like a month. So I'll give them a window.
That's funny.
And they come up like, we back you, we support you. There's a lot of people behind the scenes. I'm like who? And then they name one of the biggest CEOs in the world. And I was like, oh, you, like, for real? So I follow the CEO's wife, who's a public figure, back quick on IG. Instant follow back. I was like, oh, okay. But that was one of those, if this type of person wants me in, that just shows the type of moves I'll be able to make right when I'm mayor. They want me to get in because they know what I'm going to do is going to help everyone. And so, but they just can't do it because it's back to, you can get mugged with the $9 gas, but gang, blood crip.
Gang. So, I know we can't keep you forever, but I want to get into the history of Karen Bass. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it because, you brought up Democratic Socialists. We also have, how long have we been going, Johnny?
Hour 8.
Okay, we won't keep you much longer.
I just need to get some in.
But, her history is of a saboteur. Like, she is what the Malcolm X talked about. And not necessarily her skin color, but and also I'm not. And this is Sam speaking, not Spencer. The Unabomber talked about that as well. It's like these liberals. They act like they care, but really they look down upon you. And she used to go to Cuba all the time, right? Am I wrong? Because I've gotten a couple things wrong today that you cleared up, but. From what I was told,
I think every summer
she would go to Cuba and listen to Fidel Castro talk. I mean,
when he dies, dangerous. I think she says, "Rest in peace, El Comandante." Blah blah blah.
It's crazy.
So
the mayor.
This is a great thing. 2 days ago, I met with the rooftop Korean Tony Moore.
Yeah, Tony Moon.
Tony Moon.
Oh, yeah,
we had him on.
So I just met. Excuse me. I met with the rooftop Tony Moon.
Yeah.
And he was actually not a rooftop Korean. He was in the parking lot.
Yeah.
He was a parking lot Korean. So we got update. Make sure you get his book. Comes out in June.
Yeah. We
Already
love
pre-ordered
him.
it.
Yeah, he's great, man.
And because I wanted to ask him about a bunch of things. But one of the things I brought up, because everybody sends me everything, the New York Times has Karen Bass quoted after the 1992 riots saying, thank God, I'm paraphrasing, you can go read the quote, we can pull it up later. Thank God all the Korean liquor stores burned to the ground. And he's like, she took that back or whatever. I'm like, oh, I bet she did.
Yeah,
when she was
I
running
would
for,
too if I got caught.
when she was running for office, she
Yeah.
took that back when the terrorism brand doesn't help become a state.
Yeah,
assemblyman.
that's crazy. Thank God they burnt down. I mean, unbelievable, dude. Like,
So that's the core of who we're dealing with. And I keep trying to say, these are communists. They tell you they are. And so when you hear that language, it throws people off like, oh, what's he talking?
Bolsheviks.
Yeah, like do your research.
Here's what she said. I can give you the exact quote. She said, like a miracle, a large chunk of the liquor stores we wanted to close were burned to the ground. She called it a miracle that the LA riots happened. So
And those were the Korean businesses.
Unbelievable.
And he said at the time, black people were having issues with the Koreans because of a year before there was an incident with a younger girl in the liquor store and the old lady shot. So whether she wanted them to burn down because on a race thing, we'd have to ask her. And that's what I wish more journalists did. Like, hey, we're looking back on, because if it's Spencer Pratt, that's the first question. Hey, 40 years ago, you said miracle, but they don't do that.
Is there a debate going to happen?
May 5th on NBC.
What? You're debating her?
Oh,
May
yeah.
5th?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
dude.
We got to see
yeah,
that.
viewing party.
Yeah, we should do it live. Yeah, we should.
But here's the problem with debating somebody like her. I'll tell you, because I watched her yesterday. Thing. When everything you say out of your mouth is a lie, backed up with cooked lie numbers, it's like I'm literally gonna be like, "Sure, liar,"
Totally.
Good story. It's
Like
It's like-
Newsom saying, or them saying LA is like
the most.
the
She just sat out that car on the mic. Thank you, the most pristine city. Like, what are you?
it's the lowest crime rate city in the country. You're like, what, dude?
Sure.
What? Yeah. When you stop prosecuting crimes, you don't get crime numbers.
People don't call because there's a 40-minute hold. It's not even people just accept. Like, for instance, one of my campaign team member on our campaign kickoff night, boom, smash and grab, all the stuff taken out of his car. Did he call, try to do police? No. This is like, what, to throw it? That's the thing. The numbers aren't even there because people are just like, whatever, it's iPhone, data. It all adds up, but so many things don't even get called in.
Well, that's how it was in San Francisco. We'd go do stand up, and on the side it would say, take your stuff out of your car because there is a chance that they might break in. Like, they're giving you a warning, as in, like, don't leave shit in there.
People leaving their windows open in San Francisco just so that they can look and make sure they don't have it without breaking their window. It's
the
insane.
guy Seth in the city told me, because we were talking about nightlife, and he's like, yeah, I mean, any club you go into now, there's signs in the clubs in Hollywood like, beware cell phone pickpocket. I'm like, clubs in LA, you have to worry about your cell phone getting jacked while you're trying to dance. Like, what is going on?
Dude, when I first moved out here, I called like the first week, like 9 years ago when I moved out. I'm from the South. I moved out and called 911 because I saw a homeless person looked like they were dead. And this, to me, that's fresh and new. I was horrified.
That's traumatizing.
I called them and they laughed at me on the phone. They were like, "Yeah, welcome to LA." Basically, I mean, and then after that, of course, you don't call. I mean, I've seen all kinds of illegal shit. I don't call, and I would if I was back home in the South. I'd call immediately the police. So yeah, there's so much. It's massively underreported.
So yesterday I'm at jiu-jitsu and this OG like buff dude, that black belt, comes up to me and he's like, "You running for mayor of LA?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "I was a policeman in Cuba. I saw the other side of the fence. We cannot let these commies win."
Dude, that's it, man. Why are these guys coming here if it's so great over there where they have your policies? It's just rich kids cosplaying freedom fighters, dude, and they need purpose in their life. And not all rich kids are bad. I have a ton of friends who grew up. The guy on my other show is the son of a major banker. He's a great guy. It's just like it gets weaponized, man, and they just want to scorch earth. But then they get to a point where a lot of their policies, and no matter what you say about socialists and everything, no matter what they say, a lot of their policies have been applied with disastrous results. It's like, you've had your shot, it didn't work out. Let the adults come back in.
Also, let's rewind. LA used to be incredible and it wasn't socialist.
Yeah.
And again, it was a democratic city. So it's not like I'm saying we can't have a democratic city. Go look at the 1996 Democratic Party Clinton manifesto. If we had that right now applied to LA, we'd be great. We'd be styling. It would be the best thing.
Clinton Democrats, they called them.
Whatever I posted it because I was like, this is it. This is what we need.
This is a dream.
Can we do this?
Yeah.
But so the idea that I'm saying something that's not what a Democrat would want. So no, what I don't want is what the communists want.
Yeah. And it always gets the
communism. The problem is when things get they make things so unaffordable, it starts sounding real good. We're going to make this free. We're going to give us, eventually this money runs out. We're handing everyone free money. We're going to keep this does
New
not
York's
work.
already going through that, New York City.
So
he's like, I don't know how we're going to pay for this. More taxes. You're like, more fraud. When I hear more taxes, I hear more fraud.
I was laughing so hard because I only know what I'm not a Mondami expert, but everything I thought was free bus. And then this week, he's going to charge parking meters. So I'm like, what happened to free? Now everyone's got to pay to park?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Nothing's free, man.
So we're going to get $5 billion in parking fees. So you guys thought he was going to give you money. He's giving you money. He's charging you. So back to, you stop the scamming from the billions that we do have. You get that money back into the city. Small business, you support them. You don't over-regulate them. You don't make permitting impossible. You do this so that there's actually an economy again. People won't be so desperate to be a communist because they're not going to be like, I can't survive unless they got to take care of me. No, you'll have money again because it was here.
Yeah, I mean, a meritocracy. Let's get back to it. Give everybody a chance to compete, and the best ideas win, dude. Stop making it so the fee of entry is so bad. Listen, I love food trucks. I go eat the food trucks. But when I see a food truck or a hot dog vendor outside a brick and mortar, I go, that's not fair to the brick and mortar that has to do all the fee of entry stuff.
Oh, no, the big drama that people fight me for that I think is just back to everybody should have the same. So small business restaurants, the mom and pop shop has to have all their codes, their permitting. Yes. But Dr. Evil zombie lady Barbara Ferrer just said that no enforcement of any food on the street for any public health thing is going on. This is again Google monster lady.
Crazy.
So you're telling me these again, you're like, oh, you're why would I not care about these people this is their livelihood, have to do all these things to have their business open, but somebody can just go right in their parking lot, no rules, no permits, old meat, don't wash their, whatever. And we're going to not enforce that, but we'll go in and make sure they got their letter on their window. What?
There shouldn't be allowed within 500 feet of a brick and mortar restaurant. It's just not fair. I mean, San Diego, the whole Gaslight District, all these restaurants are going under because everyone's just buying hot dog vendor food. And they have no regulations. And you got all these, San Diego is going through their kind of Bolshevik view. They have a garbage committee where these city officials go around, make sure your garbage is put right in each can. So they basically took the TSA to your garbage. And then what happens is you have to keep feeding the beast. You have to raise their budget. Then they have more administrators, add more employees. And then it just becomes this giant monster that it's impossible to slay anymore.
Glendale has this vendor spot where once a week or something they all gather there, which is cool because if you want those foods and they can't afford a big restaurant, I get it. But yeah, they have this.
Look at Dave's Hot Chicken. Great story. Started in a little car outside of Kmart or a Target, and then got a brick and mortar. I'm fine with that. That's the American dream. But like to allow these people to set shop just outside of your restaurant where you have all these regulations going on is just counterproductive to me.
Again, I am so simple with the way I think. We should all have to do the same responsibilities and the same consequences. So if this food place has to do all this stuff, this food place has to do this.
I agree.
They need all the same permit. You know, we can't, or then say, done, no more permit. Let's just have, it's going to look like those TikToks where people are just sitting in bowls and handing you, their feet, just put it,
India.
I've seen them all over.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I just pray to God I can do this. Otherwise, it's so sad what's going to happen to LA.
So tell us, what are the, real quickly, what do you need from us? What are some dates we should be looking out for? What can we do to help?
So first off, obviously, if you have money or you know somebody has money.
This guy's got a ton.
You go to mayorpratt.com. You click in the, I would think maybe in the.
Contribute there?
Contribute, orange button, and you contribute. You can. The craziest thing is it maxes out at $1,800. I don't know how Mayor Karen Bass has $3 million right now.
Yeah, I think I know.
Have a pretty good guess,
NGOs.
So I don't know that way they do it, but I had a guy today goes, I want to give you 9,000. I was like, I can take 1,800. I'm like, huh?
Dude, they literally took all of the solar panel money, stole all of it, and put it into all of these political campaigns. They literally stole all the money set aside for solar panel and green energy was just taken and I guarantee you spread all around the country for all these Democratic candidates. I'm telling you, this is why this is so important, man. We have to. I love that. What is that? A book?
No, these are you can make your own signs.
I love that, dude.
Oh, that's cool. But that hat you have on is sick.
Yeah, so I can't sell these because of this was given to me. But they may just be floating around the city soon. So,
let me know. I'll wear it.
But yeah, so contribute. If not, votes are the most important. We can beat them. If we don't get the money, which I don't think we're going to get the money, we need to because in a perfect world, I have billboards all over the city with just the real stats. I want a billboard on La Cienna of just human shit, from a highlight reel of multiple.
I got somebody you should talk to, dude. I'll tell you after.
All right, so because that you want 4 more years of shit, vote for Bass or vote for Pratt. Things like just flashy.
A vote for Bass is a vote for
just
ass.
A photo of Karen Bass and just fentanyl needles raining down. I want to hand out fake fentanyl needles all around the city, but when you open it up, it's yeah, right, idiot. You open it up, so things like this, I could just destroy them with money, but I don't have it. So what we
viral,
do,
just viral. You don't even have to give a lot. You just have to make one open, say it goes viral. You think you're handing out $1 million?
No, dude, we're gonna help you.
Camera magic.
May 4th, your ballots get sent to the mail. Second you get it, fill it out, Spencer Pratt, send it in. The more ballots we get, you tell your friends, make sure everyone's registered to vote. Yeah, go on. It's quick, takes minutes. Google it, how to register to vote in LA. And you just do it, you get your ballot, and you send it in. 150,000 ballots, I'm guaranteed going into November head-to-head with her. And a higher number, I could just win.
We got to get you on Jimmy Dore, dude. Yeah. I got to talk to Jimmy Dore for you.
When's the debate again?
Is he a comedian? He keeps...
He's got a huge... we got a good size off, but he's got a mega off, and you'd fit right into what he's been talking about, dude.
When's the debate again, and where can they watch
it?
May 5th,
May 5th. I'll be shocked if she's going to have COVID or something.
Yeah, you're totally right.
New strain is going to drop.
Too much to lose for her, right? Yeah,
no, because she just lies and goes like this. We removed. We're doing the best. He's on reality TV.
And you're a communist.
Yeah, literally,
it's over. Yeah,
you're a communist. You wanted Korean liquor stores to burn. You said it was a miracle.
Yeah. That's all you.
What was the next question, sir?
Yeah. Man, I'm on your side. I'll join your group, and we'll definitely get the word out. Spencer, this has been great. You came in, you told us how much you were into this stuff that this show talks a lot about. It was,
I've never seen a show. I just know it's tinfoil.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And I used to wear a tinfoil hat.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. I didn't know if you wanted to get into that.
I mean, it was real. They were. I needed that hat.
Yeah,
dude,
they were bugging me. I had a scanner.
Yeah. Oh, you did. I got that too. Like I'm gonna go through my hotel room.
I was proven very real. There's lots of people like, oh, he lost. No. I was on. Well, they raided my house. You got to read my book. So I was like, thought I was being, watched. And it ends up all of a sudden, boom, police helicopters at the window. I'm in the shower with the binger, like, whoa, am I dreaming? Like, all of a sudden, like, yes, you were in the window. And they raid my house. They said it was a hostage situation. They detain Heidi and I. They search the whole house, and then they come and they're like, somebody like, right, I'm like, did you get the hostage person? They're like, oh yeah, no. Why do you have so much guns and ammunition in the house? I'm like, excuse me? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm like, I was like, I thought you were here for the hostage.
Yeah,
true.
And it ends up, my theory, at the time, I had just flown the head of the Rolling 60s Crips and his crew to a fight because he was the music manager to my fighter. And I got all these calls from my agency like, hey, all the feds have been calling us why you've been seen with this guy, Big U, and, all these other affiliated names. And I said, he's the music manager. He was Nipsey hadn't even popped off. So
that's a crazy story
too. No, I mean, not pop, like he wasn't even famous yet at this time. So I had no idea who Big U was. I was just like, oh, it's the music guy we go to lunch with. So in my theory, I think the feds at the time thought I was doing straw purchasing for ammunition and guns for the Rolling 60s.
Whoa.
But what it ends up is I buy a lot of anything. When I had 100 suits, I had 1,000 crystals. And I bought a lot of ammo because Heidi and I were renting the gun range every 3 weeks or 3 days a week at LAX. And it was way cheaper just like going through it in quantity. So it all worked out and they apologized. But I thought, so my whole, am I being wild? Who are these people?
That's crazy. Dude.
So they were for sure
bugging the shit out
of me. I was for sure being watched. So the tinfoil sometimes.
Yeah, dude. That's amazing. Spencer Pratt, thank you so much for coming on. We were talking about it forever and you knocked it out of the park. You have our votes. Are you even allowed to vote?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, then he's going to vote for you.
The swarm. We need the whole swarm.
The swarm. We're going to get anything we can do, dude. And if you need when is the actual election?
We need to start winning May 4th.
Okay.
Like from May 4th to June 2nd, no one's going. Everyone's busy.
Let's run a fundraiser for you, dude. Let's figure out if we could do a fundraiser for you. Maybe at the Comedy Store. See if they're cool with that. They've done fundraisers for other politicians. Maybe we could do a fundraiser for you. I'll see if I can get the right comics to do it who are smart and aren't idiots. I would love to have them come down. Maybe down the line, if you're thinking like there's a time. I mean, it's not going to be $1 bazillion, but it could be good money, though. I mean, we could figure it out, and you could have people sponsor and stuff like that. But I'm throwing that out there. If I could help you in that aspect, I could see who's open-minded to it, and I would love to help you.
We need all the help.
All right, man. All right, let's break down the episode. All right, what'd you guys think of Spencer Pratt?
Glad Johnny made it happen.
Johnny made it happen.
Well, no, you know who really made it happen was the swarm.
Yeah. Is there anybody else we would want them to do that for?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. We were like, who else does the swarm need to
Catherine Austin Fitz.
DM her, comment her. I was telling Johnny that the new Asian guy that's all over YouTube.
That professor.
The professor? I know you.
Oh, yeah. Mark's working on it.
Oh, fuck.
We got to pick one at a time, though. That's how it works with
one
the
at a time.
swarm.
One at a time, guys.
To be directed like a directed energy
Catherine
weapon.
Austin Fitz is my dream guest. Because I love every time she talks.
See what you do? This is my move when I'm talking to people who may not want to, may not be in the demo of our show. I call it TFH with Sam Tripoli. I'm saying, hey, would you like to come on TFH with Sam Tripoli? Kind of like.
And then they hear, welcome to Tinfoil Hat. They're like, what's the name of the show? Johnny, this is before you guys when Off the Grid Ryan was booking the show, and he booked that Satanist guy with the weird eye. Right?
Yeah, I know.
And we're talking to him, and he's like, yeah, it's like we're, being on Tinfoil Hat. He goes, hold on, what's the name of the show? I go, tinfoil. He goes, hold on. Are you one of those crazy conspiracies? I go, bro, you're a Satanist. You worship Satan. Who are you?
You look like Lord Voldemort.
You're on the show telling us how you're misunderstood, and now you're having an emotional reaction to us. Like, what are you talking about? It's like on Twitter when this Satanist was like, racist people need to. I go, I hate to tell you, being a Satanist is worse than a racist. I got called a racist by a Satanist. I'm like, you're worse than a racist. I have racist uncles. They're fun at Thanksgiving. Nobody's inviting a Satanist to Thanksgiving. They say, can cousin Johnny come over to Satanist? No, the Satanist cannot come over.
Johnny's definitely the racist, by the way, not the Satanist. Let's be real.
Real quick, a disclaimer, that was not jizz on my shirt. Johnny was trying to warn me, but I was so locked in on the conversation that I didn't even notice that I had toothpaste on my shirt.
He really freshened up. It is toothpaste because you freshen up. He said it.
Dude, this is the most dressed up I've been on this show, and then he shows up in shorts. I'm like, I could have just gone in my fucking sweatpants like I like to do it. But I was like, okay, I gotta be, this is big for him. It's big for us, obviously, but like these are important things for him. Let's present the best version of ourselves. I go, I'll even brush my teeth.
Right before,
and then I go, oh, dude, but hopefully no toothpaste will get on my shirt. And then it gets on my shirt, but I don't even notice. And Johnny just lets me go the whole time.
I tried to text you early on.
Yeah, not very hard.
I text both your phones.
Well, usually when you need me, you do this.
Yeah, but you were in, like you said, you were kind of locked in. I didn't want to distract you and then be like, what, Johnny, what? And then I get yelled at. And
this was the text by Johnny to me. Sam has gin on his shirt, right?
I did not jerk off in between. I once went to a Zoom meeting with it on there that one time. That's a true story. Yeah. I was like, oh, no, it's on me.
So funny. You told me after too. You were like, "Don't mention what day that was, because I don't want anybody to go back and find it."
Yeah, I go, what Zoom meeting was it? Yeah, dude. Listen, I think this is a fight for LA right now.
It matters.
This one does matter, and what I was saying to Spencer as he left was like, everyone's like globalists, and then they've demonized nationalists, like loving your country. I just don't. It's so crazy how in America, loving being American is so demonized. And literally every other country is like, we're the best, we're the greatest. Like when Conor McGregor fights, all of Ireland comes over, right?
Totally, yeah.
America's the only one. Now, it's very weird because...
Can you do that in a different country? Like, can you be American and then be like in... Because I know you can't hear because you're like, oh, that person's racist. But can you go to another country, like during the World Cup? Can you be in Japan and then be like, I'm an American, and then like act like
during the World
everyone
Cup,
else?
Yeah.
It used to be you could do that. I mean, people love, there was a lot of patriotism was way more. Now, jingoism and all that shit where you blindly follow the government. That's a whole different thing.
That's different. But being proud of where you're from.
They polluted it, yeah.
Yeah, when America's bombing everywhere, I think people are now understanding there's a difference between loving your country and blindly following your government. Yeah. But back to, but what Spencer Pratt's doing is a localist thing.
Yeah.
And that's where the change can happen. I mentioned this earlier. It's all females. It's very interesting to me how women are like, if women ran everything, the world would be better. Really? LA sucks. The mayor's female and the entire city council's female.
I didn't know that. That's crazy that the whole city council's female. I mean, where's the representation?
Every single
80,
one
90%, you're talking 100%.
100% is female.
That's fucking
how
nuts.
are they okay with that?
Yeah, how's
they
that
talk
okay?
about representation
because sexism doesn't involve that way. If you pack something full of all females, they're like, that is so open-minded. That is so open-minded. But if it's all guys, you're like, why are you sexist? Because it goes back to this.
It's like colleges now. It's just all, which might be good, but.
Well, it's bad. It's actually diabolical what they're doing because they're saddling women with all this debt.
Yeah.
So they can't start a family. And guys are like, how much are you in debt? I don't want to marry that. I had a buddy who wouldn't marry his girl because their credit score was so low.
Oh, that's
They ended up breaking up, but, it's like he wouldn't marry her.
It's probably not going to work out anyway, honestly. If the credit score.
If you have like 800 and your partner has a 500, it's probably not going to work out.
No, what I mean is if you are willing to end the relationship because the person's credit score.
No, but
wasn't
he
high
did
enough.
end they
Probably
ended
not
later
working.
on, but she wanted to get married. He's
I
like, I'm not getting married. You have 500 credit.
I'm with him. There's two different lifestyles. Like he's obviously wanting to save money and like maybe not get lobster.
And he pays his bills on
You
time.
guys don't believe in love, obviously.
Well, it's
Johnny-
kind of like this. If you go to a girl's house, one of the biggest turnoffs for me is when a woman lives in a messier house than I do.
Yeah.
There's like only room for one slob.
No, I'm with you.
There's not a lot women can do that turns me off. A messy room is it.
Yeah, and like being messy personally.
you know what-
hygiene.
And pooping.
You know which one drives me nuts? When they have that the scum on the tub.
Yeah. Clean your shit, ladies.
Dude, it's
My favorite part when I was young, hooking up with a chick, was spending a night at her house. It was like a night at a hotel. It's like one free night at a hotel. It's the bed's so fluffy,
funny.
everything's
So
clean.
using all the shampoos.
Your
options.
Oh, and
today.
it was
the
great.
smells. Everything smells
Great.
good.
It
Yeah.
was great.
Everything smells like cotton candy. It's just
Yeah,
like,
it was great, dude. I'm sure but you know, if you can real quick, go to samtripoli.com. We got some new dates about to be added. I'm gonna tell you about them right now. We got Batavia, then we have on the 16th. It's not up yet. It'll be up by the time you watch this. I will be in Hamilton, Toronto. I will be in Hamilton, Ontario on the 16th, and then the next 2 days I'm in Toronto. Toronto is one of my favorite cities in the world.
aren't you somewhere on the 3rd too?
Yeah.
And the 4th?
Oh yeah, April 3rd I'm in Raleigh, and then April 4th I'm in Atlanta. Those dates will be up as well. Raleigh, Atlanta, Hamilton are dates coming up. Dallas, then I'll be in Fort Worth, then I'll be at Huntington Beach. Then I will be shooting. What do we call it? Taping now? Taping,
Yeah.
filming.
I don't even-
Special taping.
Shooting,
Special-
I think, works too.
Okay, what?
Shooting, I think, works too. 'cause
Okay, I'll be shooting my live comedy special for Gas Digital in Austin at Creek in the Cave, Albuquerque, 1,000 episodes sold out. Lawrence, Kansas, Tulsa, and then finishing out in Austin. Yeah, go to my dude. So Spencer's sitting there waiting because you went upstairs. I don't know what you did, and he left on this thumbnail that has a Saudi escort and Hitler on it. I'm like, okay, this has got to be weird for him.
Oh, I see what you mean. She went upstairs and that was on. I got you.
Yeah,
When he
on
On
sat
the
down.
screen, I'm like, take it off the screen, take it. And then
that's so
Epstein's
funny.
there. Go
You
down.
imagine you sit down, you think he's got jizz on his t-shirt, you see Hitler,
Yeah.
and he's running for mayor.
And this place from the outside doesn't look like a studio either.
Yeah.
It's
Undercover. We got the best premium contest, dude. This Epstein story is crazy. Dude, they break down like that Epstein dad might have faked his own death, moved to New York, and started a new life because he got blackballed by Hollywood in the Red Scare. The guy who ran the guy who literally created Warner Brothers, one of the Warners, blackballed Epstein's dad, or this Epstein, right? So then this Epstein, he gets blackballed. A month later, he mysteriously dies. No one knows how he dies. And suddenly later that year, he shows up. A guy shows up in New York named something Epstein. And you look at this guy's record. This guy, there's no record of this dude, no pictures of this guy anywhere. But he has a record, right? And it goes up to 42. And then for 10 years, there's nothing. And then
his name is still Epstein?
His last name's Epstein. And the reason they keep their last name is because the Epsteins are from this area in Germany called Epstein. And they're
Epstein.
Epstein or something like that, right?
Epstein. That's
And
how you would say it.
they have this thing where if you're an Epstein, They automatically help you. You don't have to qualify. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to prove to them anything. And they automatically help you out. So they're all like, Epstein's dad was a gardener for, lawn maintenance for the city. And you're like, but he just rose to power. And then Nick brought it up, and I didn't want to bring this up because I didn't want to put that weird of a conspiracy on him in the show that's coming out next. But it's a really interesting thing. So go check out that premium contest. Check out my thumbnails. I'm crushing.
You're doing all this?
Hey, yep.
I have a website to make.
You're doing a good job.
You didn't think that was a real picture of Sam as a ninja?
No, but I just mean like with even the words up there and stuff. You've got spelling and
Johnny, shut up and tell us about Cash Daddies.
Cash Daddies is where Sam.
It's gone up a little bit.
Where our friend Howie Dewey, who is a former Wall Street guy, succeeds despite all the odds. The economy has been in the shite, and he is still sharing profitable ideas, and he will teach you how to prepare for retirement. Again, there is no.
I'm telling you,
past
man.
performance is not a guarantee of future results.
For the last 5 years, we've been killing the S&P. If that means anything to anybody, you know how badass we are. Go back to the website. Go down. I got Chaos Twins is about to get done. I'm working on it. I promise you'll have update within the month. Within the week.
Lie.
Okay, go back down. T-shirts are amazing. I'm working on that. We got those special T-shirts. I get my news from Sam Tripoli. I'm gonna see if he can put it on the front too.
$20. Come on, people.
Come on, dude. That's ridiculous.
We've been doing $20.
Oh, dude, that shirt I made at the beginning of our run, and that shirt turned out to be the most true because NASA's, according to the Dark Journalist, was a part of the JFK assassination.
That's a cool one.
Yeah.
That one's like an old school, like grungy looking. I like that one a lot.
This one.
That one's really cool.
There's a little secret inside this T-shirt.
There is?
Remember? There's a little penis on Walt Disney. There's like little things inside.
You love the penises, dude.
You're always putting penises in places where they don't belong.
That's what art is for.
Johnny, that was rude. And then you go down to our affiliates. Buy gold and silver from WolfPay. You buy gold and silver. Mineral King, Pat Miletich, Alcure Hydrogen Brown Gas. Hydrogen keeps you young. Harley Ray, the best crystals, candles, and everything. Chemical Free Body, took it today. Right before I brushed my teeth. I took it today. So check that out. I can't recommend it enough. Joel Staley, getting in shape. He's helping me get in shape right now. EMF Rocks. Prometheus. If you're somebody who's getting debanked, go to Prometheus, and then Brain Supreme. Chad Zumach got his Patreon taken down because he relapsed, went on the show and started calling this guy who says the N-word all the time, Gino Bisconti, started calling him the N-word all the time. And somehow Patreon, which I think is, and this has happened to Owen Benjamin, like they ding you for something you did somewhere else.
Oh no, they do. Yeah. Well, somewhere else. Oh, that's interesting. No, I didn't know about. They got us on Punch Drunk for Ari's butthole bleaching that time. They made me take that down.
That's reasonable.
So what I had to do, you know what I did was I uploaded it. The only place that would host it was like YouPorn or something like that. So I uploaded it there, and I have in the Patreon, which there's nobody there now, but I'm like, email me if you want this video and I'll send you the link. And actually, a couple of weeks ago, there's like one member, some guy signed up to get the video, and I found it and sent him the link.
Why would you want to see that?
Exactly my thought.
Dude, the only reason you watch that is watching Steve Ranzizi dry heave.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
So it kind of brings up like the old school Sam. So as of right now, it looks like my movie is getting made. That I came up with this idea.
I'm so excited.
But it's super adult comedy. It's a crazy movie.
Is it kind of like as pushy as Tom Segura's Netflix show is?
It's not that crazy, but it's in that realm.
Okay. Do we get set visits? That's what I want.
Of course.
Okay.
Fuck
cool.
yeah.
I just got to figure out my role because I don't want to act. But I just want that one role of like, I'm here for the gangbang.
Yeah, Todd Phillips. Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah. That's one of the best like one lines in a movie, a comedy ever. That movie when that came out was so funny, bro. Like there were a couple of movies back then that like you could tell things were getting better and changing. Like there was American Pie, which for my generation was like, oh shit, this is different.
Oh, shit, you can fuck a pie.
Yeah, well, I mean, but like it was dirty, but it was for like young people. There was Old School. What, like Wedding Crashers was a big one.
Mine was-
And then 40-Year-Old Virgin when Judd Apatow came
Yeah.
in, like from the top rope and just was funny for a while.
Yeah.
To me, it was super bad.
Yeah, Superbad's right there.
Yeah.
No, that's another one too. Yeah, it's all, and that's like that Apatow tree. Yeah, he just dominated for a decade until he went poser. But
But but going back to like, I think you're going to start seeing great comedies coming out again. The problem is the internet moves so quickly that it's hard for a comedy to be shot this year, come out next year, and still be in front of the curve.
it can't be about current events or anything for sure.
It can't. It has to be very specific, but it's happening, dude. Like, people are now investing. The investors aren't investing in huge movies anymore because they're losing all their money. The investors now are, and it's all money laundering anyways. It's all like, oh, this costs $1 billion to make. We'll spend $250 million on it, and we'll give the rest to whatever thing shady shit we want to do. But you can now make a good movie for $1 million. I mean, dude, Hitler's been making fantastic movies on a much smaller budget. So I'm excited.
What do you think about a scary movie? You think it'll do anything good? You think it'll be politically correct? You think people hate it?
They're supposedly getting a lot of shit for it, but I think these movies are important. I think you have to push that out. And again, going back to Spencer Pratt about he nailed it. He's like, you got all these people who moved there going, LA is awesome. It's like, you don't know what you're talking about, because you may be from somewhere that wasn't fun and this seems like fun to you. You don't know what we had. And what we had was beautiful. It's like, I remember when I was at the Comedy Store and it was fucking wild. It was rock and roll. And, you'd always have these New York City comics going, LA comedy sucks. And you're like, the Comedy Store, that's a whole nother beast. And if you were lucky, it was like a private club. If you were a regular there before they started adding all the famous people, which I understand because you got to sell tickets. Like, it was wild, dude. We were kings and we didn't even know it.
That's how Sopranos starts. The first episode, the pilot, he's like, I'm realizing now that I got in at the end. You know what I mean? And that's how I felt moving here, that I got in at the end,
Yep. You got in at the end, and it's like all my friends in Austin that miss LA, I go, the LA you miss is not here anymore. It's not. What's here now is fucking high prices and fat feminist that's ruining everything. They've ruined comedy. And it's like, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know, man. It was great, though. I was so blessed, but, we were wild back then, dude. And it could come back, and I think it's going to come back. But movies like...
You believe that? Huh? Oh, with entertainment, maybe. Yeah. I don't know if LA, like that sunset vibe, like...
Oh, I think it will come back once it starts to reset itself. Because, you can make, because you see this all the time. You see content creators who are living in the middle of nowhere, even if it's for a short time, they come here and they realize they're spending too much money. And they're like, I'll just go back there.
Yeah, but they're annoying as shit, content creators. Have you seen that viral, that guy that eats food going viral because of how fucking annoying he is? He's like a yoked black guy.
Yeah.
And he just goes in and annoys the shit out of everybody in a restaurant, and I think people are fed up with influencers.
Laws will be passed that you can't bother people while you're doing it. And they'd love to throw influencers in jail. Like, they have no problems. They're like, hey, homeless guy masturbating. No. Chill out over there. Let's grab this influencer that's pissing everybody off.
How about both of them go to jail?
No, they both should go to jail.
Do you think extending the, I don't know if you've heard that they're trying to extend the alcohol time or whatever from 2 to 4? Do you think
like last call?
Yeah, you think that would bring Hollywood back to life? Because they're claiming that could be a thing that would help it out. I don't.
Well, of course it would help it out, but to me it goes, they just want more DUIs.
Yeah.
I mean, LA doesn't have a late night life anymore. It's not New York.
You can't do New York where you can literally get on.
Was it ever? Because as long as I've been here, it closes early. Yeah.
No.
And dude, you know what finally killed it off was the pandemic. Because you at least back then had shit that would stay open. Like even stores and stuff would be open 24
People
hours.
are gonna call me crazy, but
Not anymore.
when Joe Rogan moved, he took the essence with him.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
Crazy.
No, I think there's something to that for sure. It changed the comedy definitely. Like that was the light died.
Well, you know what happened to LA, dude? That Joe Rogan left and it became Lord of the Rings. It became Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It became Game of Thrones.
Right?
And everybody was battling over who was going to be the top dog.
And it's nobody.
It's literally nobody.
I would tell you who he doesn't act like it, but Bobby Lee has been carrying this scene for 3 years.
Yeah, but he's not
the guy that wants to be the king, but he's been carrying the scene. He's doing everybody's shows forever. And now they shot his special, he's not doing as many shows. And it's affecting numbers. Bobby Lee carried the scene for 3 years. Him, Andrew Santino. Who is the top dog? People could call me crazy, but Nikki Glazer.
I buy that. Yeah.
She's on fire right now.
She doesn't have that podcast thing though, right? Like that's where Rogan was like the godfather, because he made people and he was the center of the comedy scene.
Well, I'll tell you, dude, at one point the Comedy Store, when Rogan was there, was the center of comedy and the center of comedy podcasting. All the biggest podcasters were going on stage nightly.
And dude, they'd all come down. We used to dude, for our shitty little Punch Drunk Patreon, we had all the biggest comedians back before everybody had their own podcast in the world would come on that show and sit there for an hour and bullshit while they were waiting to go back up to another room.
Yep.
It was you can never like the lineup. The month we would have, like there was a month we had Rogan, Kreischer, Diaz, Ari was on the show, and then there was some. Oh, and Pauly Shore was on there in 1 month.
You know what? I think
on the Patreon.
Yeah, I wish they can bring back the Ice House Chronicles.
Oh, that was great.
Dude. I helped name that,
dude. Yeah,
really?
It was.
Yeah, because I sat down and Brian Redband and Joe Rogan were like, what should we call this? I go, well, what names you think? And they listed, they go, Ice House Chronicles. I go, that's it. You're good. Okay, it's called Ice House Chronicles.
It was so cool. You were literally, they would do stand up and then you would go and they would talk about their set. It was the craziest thing when I was like, you guys are podcasting, and then the guy would leave, be like, all right, you're next. And then mid conversation, this guy would leave, go do 10, 15 minutes, come back and be like, how was your set?
I used to watch all that shit.
So.
And dude, no one will ever give Brian Redband he's gotten the accolades because of Kill Tony. He's gotten the accolades.
But he needs to be in the documentary. Like, there needs to be
about podcasting?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something, and you guys can call me crazy, but Death Squad was the beginning of the end. It was the beginning of the end. Because it was like, because Rogan was there, and he was this juggernaut, and he just co-signed on all these people, even if you weren't really in that much. You were still on Death Squad, even though that was Brian Redband's. But it became the first, I'm not saying it's the only one, but it was the first time on a national level that artists were doing art for themselves in the comedy world. It was no longer about pitching. It was no longer about trying to sell this. It was like, I need to get an audience, but I'm going to do me, the most me I could do. And we did it. And it's like, and that was the beginning of the end. And then Andrew Schultz took it to another level. And I think the future now is live streaming.
Yeah,
like,
how much of it though is artificial? Like how much of it that's the future because that's what the algo has prioritized. Because we've seen it, like it'll show your video to more people if it's live. Seems like that's what they want rather than. What do you think that's about? Why is that?
Because they have you captured on the platform.
Yeah, you're more likely to stay if it's live, right, and watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
rather than,
and that's just more times. The next thing they're probably gonna work on are commercials. Yeah. Our commercials,
live commercials,
yeah,
in between your lives, yeah.
They're gonna. That's the next phase. They're gonna be, and you'll have a little number commercial in 10, 9, 8, bang commercial,
or they'll overlay some shit on your screen.
They got me to do it. I got YouTube Premium because I'd watch music videos, and then every 5 songs, they'd give me a 30-minute commercial.
Oh yeah, I gotta do that on Doomscroll. I have to go in there and get rid of all the ads that they put.
Dude, the last one for Broken Sim. It was the most I'd ever seen. It's almost like they heard us complaining about it. Like it was one every 30 seconds.
They want you.
End.
So now you can't skip the ads.
It's to the point where they want you to go do premium because it's so annoying. We're just saying,
that's what they want. They want you to do premium.
Gangsters, dude.
All right, guys.